Welcome to I Love My HBCU ? The podcast where we express our undeniable love for HBCUs, but where we are also not afraid to address a few tough questions. So, sit back, learn a little, love a lot, and rep your HBCU. Hello, everyone hearing the sound of my voice, and those who are looking at my beautiful face and the beautiful face of the current Miss Coppin State University. Jayla, how are you?
I'm good. I'm really good. How are you?
I am well. Jayla, you make me feel calm. I didn't say that to you before we started, but you make me feel calm. Like I literally texted my production team. She makes me feel calm.
Thank you.
That's not the first time you've heard that. People tell you that you've got a calming presence around you, don't they?
They do.
They do. They do. Okay. Jayla, thank you for joining me on this episode of I Love My HBCU ? Like, as I mentioned, you are the current Miss Coppin State University. I'm beaming ear to ear because we have had a former Miss Coppin State University as a guest on our podcast before. What drew you to the title? Let's start there. What made you say to yourself, of all the things that I could pursue in college, I want to be the queen of Coppin State University?
So I actually came to Coppin in 2021. That was amidst of COVID and everything that was going on. I went to our school's convocation with our president, Anthony L. Jenkins. He was there and he was just talking. And then I see this girl walk up, crown, sash, very poised, very calming energy. And she introduced herself as Miss Coppin. I just said, I want to do that. I don't know what she does yet, but I want to do. I want to be that. Started talking to her a little bit more, and an interest meeting came across for Royal Court. I ended up running for Miss Sophomore, and I was Miss Sophomore. I ran again for Miss Junior. Then I was Miss Junior, and then I was like, I'm gonna go all the way. The campus was behind me 100%. Everybody's like, you did a great, Miss Coppin. Definitely having initiatives and programs on campus. I really like that I get to have my own events and I get to network with other schools, elementary schools. So I'm an elementary education major, so that was really important to me. Giving back to the community, talking to kids. So definitely, I was like, I'm gonna go all the way. The campus is behind me. I feel like I could do it well, so I'm gonna run for. I'm gonna run for Miss Coppin. So now
I
I'm
love
presenting
it.
at Miss Coppin State University.
I love it. I don't know you well, but I think you are, from the little I have read, I believe you're representing Coppin State University pretty well. Um, when I think about the kings and queens, and this is not going to be a king and queens question, I promise you. Like this, we're not going to spend the entire episode having a conversation about kings and queens, but I feel like asking you this question because I think I'm going to get an honest answer from you, right? So when I think of kings and queens, and if I'm not mistaken, for some of the universities, it's actually written there that they are the official ambassadors of their institution. And when I think of an ambassador, you guys are supposed to be always poised, always on point, and always giving out the best of the institution to whoever is looking, not any specific constituency, but whoever's looking. But let's also be honest, you're young. All of you are typically pretty young. And with youth comes some beautiful indiscretions along the way.
Definitely.
And we've seen some of them, unfortunately, get their titles taken from them and so on and so forth. So I want an honest response, Jayla. And I think you're going to. You're going to give me an honest response. How hard is it being an ambassador for an entity almost 24/7? Because when people hear your name, they're almost automatically going to put together Miss Coppin State University. How hard or challenging is it? And you can only answer for yourself, so not for everybody else. For you, how hard or challenging is it?
As much as I would love to say, oh, it's the best thing on earth, it is so hard. It's difficult, definitely. I have students on campus who I've met who only call me Miss Coppin. They don't call me Jayla. They be like, "Hey, Miss Coppin," and that's what I'm known now. I'm known for my title. So even when I'm having a really hard day or things are just not going well, because that's everybody is entitled to have a bad day. That's just how things are, no matter what title you
Absolutely.
hold. So definitely, it gets a little difficult. When I'm having a rough day and I still have to come to campus, I don't have to be dressed in a full length gown, but I do have to look a little presentable. Even days where I just want to wear my hoodie, put a hat on, sweatpants. I can't because you never know when you're gonna get called. Coppin is always having tours and people coming through, and people see me. I could be going to class and like, hey, that's Miss Coppin, come talk to the tour. So definitely
Absolutely.
always having to kind of be on my toes a little bit because I never know what to expect on a regular school day. Um, it is a little refreshing though. So it's like even if I'm having a bad day, something like that picks me up though. Having tours come or having people, hey Miss Coppin, like it makes me feel a little bit good, but it is definitely a little difficult being able to be in the spotlight all the time because no matter what you're doing on campus, even a part of SGRO, that's been a big thing for our chapter and our sorority as a whole. Our sorority page posted me over the summer when I won, so that was a big thing. There aren't a lot of HBCU head queens that are
Mm.
in SGRO, so I think the only other one in my cohort for 2024-2025 queens is Miss Hairstow. She's the only other SGRO in our entire
Wow.
cohort of HBCU
Wow.
queens. So it's really important. So it's like everybody's looking at you. So I kind of gotta, okay, I gotta smile and wave, kiss the babies. So it definitely gets a little hard, but I love it. I love doing what I do.
So I love, gosh, I really love you. I really do. Like you're amazing. I love how even in the response to the challenge, like the challenge itself is both, I'm not going to use the word negative. There's a downside and an upside to the exact same challenge. I love that. And I think any person at an HBCU who's considering this role needs to hear you say that because I can only imagine that the consistent pull might be a downside, but I love the way you said sometimes it's also a pick me up for you. I don't know why I really that really meant something to me when you said that, but it did. I wasn't expecting you to go there, but you did. And the there is you're not wrong. Typically when we see the HBCU queens who might be in a sorority, because not all of them are, for the record, we don't see too many, at least I don't see too many, that are members of your sorority. Is it fair to ask you why?
I'm actually not sure. I was definitely doing my own research by myself. The last SG Road that was in a Miss position was Miss Fisk University, and I became really close with her. She was the queen last year. Became really close with her. I was definitely trying to see why a lot of SG Roads don't really run for positions like this. I think it depends on the school.
Okay.
I did an interview with one of you guys' interns probably a couple months ago, and she asked
Okay.
me, "Did I feel like being Greek helped me get my position?" And I told her yes and no. So I feel like that also plays a role in schools as well. How popular, let's say we have a member of Delta Sigma Theta running and we have a member of SGRO running, whatever is more popular on the yard, I feel like people kind of push to, even though that's not what everybody should focus on. It's just how politics on campus kind of falls sometimes. It gets a little political between orgs. Um, but yeah, I'm not sure why more SG Rows don't run. Actually, I wish they would definitely put us out there, make their mark. I knew I had to. I was like, okay, there are very few of us, but I'm just gonna be added to the very few of us.
And I'm glad you won. I really am. I'm glad you won.
Thank
You
you.
you talked about it being political, and let's be fair. On most college campuses, not just HBCUs, either running for an SGA position or any one of the royal court positions is your. For those who have not done it in high school and before, it's your first taste of. I'm going to say it, a popularity game and a popularity contest. Um, as much as I'd love to hope and believe that politics is much different, there are a few. When I say politics, I'm talking about our political races, president, different elected officials from Senate to governor, and so on and so forth. There's a lot of it that does have to do with popularity um on your college campus. And I keep telling myself, Tosin, you've asked enough of these what's it called, royal court questions,
Okay.
but it's exciting talking to you about it, and not talking about it in that superficial way, but talking about it with regards to curiosity that some people might have who have thought about running but don't know if they are the right choice. So
Mm-hmm.
when you were running, how much of the popularity game did you have to play? And be honest, we know you were Miss Sophomore and Miss Junior, so you're already gathering like name recognition to
Mm-hmm.
you. How much of the popularity game did you really play?
So when I first ran for Miss Sophomore, I was not Greek yet. I didn't become Greek until I won Miss Junior that semester. So I came to Coppin not knowing anybody. I knew one person actually that was from my high school, but I didn't know anyone. So
Wow.
definitely I feel like some people forget when they are trying to get into leadership, you kind of take a minute, start getting to know people, start trying to talk to people.
Nice.
I feel like I am very personable, so I was able to make a lot of connections with people outside of that. I also became an RA when I first went on campus. I became an RA. I was getting to know residents. I was getting to know people. As RAs, we host our own events, so I was hosting events students are coming to. So when I pushed out a campaign for Miss Sophomore, they're like, we know her, we like her, let's vote for her. Things continue as Miss Sophomore. I started having an event. I have an event on campus where I bring therapy dogs to campus once every semester when the company can come, just as a little something to relax and decompress before midterms and finals. So people know me. Oh, this is the girl that brings the dogs. Oh, we're voting for her again. We're voting for her for Miss Junior. So definitely becoming a face that everybody sees often, that everybody can relate to. It definitely did help my campaign for Miss Coppin. So for people, it's like, oh, it's a no brainer. Of course, we're gonna elect her.
Yeah.
She's been a familiar face. I do multiple things on campus. I was the president of an org called Queen and You. It's a women empowerment organization. Like I said, I was RA. I was the Eagle ambassador. I did tours.
Yeah.
And new student orientation leader. So during the summer, when new students would come for orientation, I would take them on tours. I would talk to them. So I've had people come to Coppin and like, you were my NSO leader. Like I met you
Yeah.
already. You made me want to come to the school. So definitely getting people getting people to like me, getting people. It's not even necessarily getting people to like me, but getting people to know who I am.
So listen, PSA. Let's do this PSA together, Jayla. Because I hear it a lot. Oh gosh, it's just a popularity thing. It's just a popularity thing. But I don't think it's fair to
Mm-hmm.
those who have put in the work like you have in making sure people know you. How do I vote for you if I don't know you? So
Exactly.
this is to the sophomore or the freshman or the sophomore. This is my PSA to the freshman or the sophomore who's got really, really good vision and plans at their institution. You can't wait until your senior year or your junior year to decide I'm going to run and you should vote for me just because I have this amazing plan. People vote for who they know. So start putting bits of that plan together now so that by the time it gets to the right time for you to run to represent as the king or queen of your HBCU, this is a long PSA, Tosin, so that by the time it gets there for you to run for the Mr. or Miss of your institution, they know you. They know
Of
you.
course.
And when they say, oh, you just won because you're popular, yes, I did win because they know me. And being popular isn't a bad word. Jayla, I love you and thank you for breaking that down. Even though I said
Thank
the
you.
PSA, it came from you. Okay, so Jayla, we're going to shift gears. I'm going to throw the rapid fire segment at you. I'm
Okay.
going to ask you a bunch of questions in 67 seconds. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
She's ready. I love it. Okay. Ooh, Jayla, describe yourself in 3 words.
Creative, ambitious, determined.
Creative, ambitious, determined. Charismatic's my word for you as well. Okay, you're graduating. She's graduating in December 2025, guys. I'm excited. Who would you wish was your commencement speaker?
Hmm. Taraji P. Henson. I like her.
Taraji P. Henson. I love it. Okay, Howard. What's the best meal at your campus?
Hmm. I think our fried fish Fridays is probably the best meal.
I
Fried
love
fish
it.
is
I like
good.
fish. So thanks for not saying the chicken on Wednesdays that everybody says.
Yeah.
Ooh, what's your unpopular opinion about HBCUs?
Hmm. I am very pro allow other minorities to come to HBCUs. Other people are very against it, like, oh, let's keep black spaces, black spaces. I feel at HBCU is something I feel like everybody should experience. I've had a ball since being at school. I love school. So I'm definitely like I'm accepting towards other people of different races coming to HBCUs. I feel like they should get the experience. They should get the experience that we're having. If they want to come to school, even if it's just for sports, which is normally the stereotypical thing that they come to school for. I mean, hey, have a ball while you're here. Have fun. Have the experience that I'm having.
I listen, we're coming back to that. I love that. I love that. We're coming back to that. Shout out your favorite professor or person at your HBCU.
Missy Sand, that's my Royal Court advisor. I love her. She's definitely helped emotionally with Royal Court. She meets every need I ever want. Coordination was a dream. It was beautiful. She makes everything, every single dream become a reality. And she's such a hard worker. She's over SGA, student activities, and Royal Court. So she has a lot on her plate and Greek life. So she's over everything and she does it
Wow.
well.
What's her name again?
Missy Sand.
Missy Sand. Thank you for every single thing that you do, because those are the unseen heroes that are putting things together. Thank you. They just told me that my time is up, but I'm still going to ask one more question. I always do this. Um, you and I both geeked over your president 2 seconds ago, the president of Coppin State University. And I'm not going to geek right now, but I think he's pretty amazing. And not just that I think he's pretty amazing. I've come across different Coppin State alum as well as students, and they love him. Not that that's a bad thing. I think that's an amazing thing. Tell me why you love your president at Coppin State University.
President Jenkins is not just a regular president. He's fresh, he's fly, he's funny. He's definitely very visible. I've been to other schools where they're like, we never see our president. He's never on campus. Our president eats lunch with us. He comes to the caf around the hours where it's like normally a little popular. He talks to students. I've been at new student orientations where he tells somebody, oh, if you can memorize the chant and sing it and perform it for everybody, $1,000 scholarship. Here you go. He's definitely on the new wave of giving out a lot more scholarships to students so that they can come to school debt free. And I think that's really important. I feel like that's something that needs to be more mainstream in terms of HBCUs because it is pretty expensive, especially like bigger HBCUs. But he makes it a lot more affordable for students to come who just want an education. So I think that's really important. He's hilarious. I see him every day. He high fives me, gives me a hug. But every student, not just me because I miss Coppin. Like he interacts with every single student like that, and I feel like that's so important to give more of a home feeling to the university, or feel like, hey, I could just go talk to our president if I need something or if I'm struggling, and he's willing to talk. He's always there and ready to help you out.
I don't know if you did the alliteration intentionally, but I wrote down he's fresh, he's fly, he's funny. I love that. It's the three F's. He's fresh, he's fly, he's funny. He's going to love this when he sees this. He's a pretty um um again, I don't know him. I do not know him. And I am at an HBCU with a pretty amazing president as well, dare I say. But the little I do know of him, he actually is very funny. And he just gives you, I will talk to anyone and make you
Yes.
feel welcome in doing so. So kudos to President I want to call him Spencer. My apologies. President Jenkins of Coppin State University. Kudos to you. You're pretty amazing. Okay, Jayla, you said something in your unpopular opinion about HBCUs. I'm too excited to talk about that. But before I talk about that, I kind of want to know why Coppin. Uh, and here's why I'm saying why Coppin. We all know if you're from Baltimore, let's put that
Yes.
out there. So okay, she had choices, and Coppin was one of the choices. Um, you had Morgan State University as an option as well.
Mm-hmm.
But even if you did not want to stay in Baltimore City and you wanted to stay in Maryland, we've got University of Maryland Eastern Shore, we've got Bowie. Why did Coppin steal your heart?
So first off, Coppin has one of the best teaching programs in Maryland. So they're known for nursing, education, criminal justice, and social work. So those are very popular majors at Coppin. And Coppin breeds great teachers. So I definitely looked at Coppin for their education department and seen how many accolades that they had for being a really great department. Also, Coppin gave me a 4-year full ride to attend Coppin State University. I was one of the first group to get the presidential scholarship. So that was really important. I was really happy. I did not think I was going to get any scholarships. So I was definitely overwhelmed and very excited when I seen that Coppin had gave me a full ride. Very grateful as well. Coppin's pretty close by. I live about 25-30 minutes away from Coppin, so it's still pretty close to home. And definitely a lot of the internships that I've experienced since being at Coppin, working in schools. So that's my passion, to teach. So working in different schools, and they've connected me to so many other teachers and professors that are offering me jobs already before I even graduate, and said like, hey, give me a call when you leave. I know your professor so and so. So definitely have given me a really great network, a really great foundation. So I love Coppin. I'm glad I chose Coppin.
So you gave the best PSA for Coppin State University. And I'm going to get knocked for this. I always get knocked for this when I say things like this, and that's perfectly okay. I'm fine with it. What I love about everything that I heard come out of your mouth with regards to Coppin State University is Coppin knows its identity. There is a general, and I don't know, and you're gonna let me know if this is right or wrong. And so please correct me. There seems to be a general consensus, at least from the outside looking in, there seems to be a general consensus that Coppin State University knows that it breeds good teachers and it wants to continue to train the best teachers, not just for Baltimore City, not just for Maryland, for the entire country, perhaps even the world. And it seems to be an accolade, a challenge, an identity that you wear proudly when you go to Coppin State University. That's what I get when I get lucky to speak to the Jaylas of the world. Is that intentional, or is that just how you guys are?
I've never met a Coppin alum that was not proud to have come from Coppin. Like, everybody always has so much energy. Even people you might have met or come across before, they always have so much pride for coming to Coppin, no matter what their major is, no matter what they decide to pursue once they graduated. Everybody is very proud because our campus community puts in the effort, puts in the work to make sure that we all soar, as President Jenkins likes to say. So definitely making sure that we succeed in everything that we accomplish. So, of course, every Coppin alum, every Coppin student, every Coppin faculty and staff is proud to have come from there, proud to be there. And I think that's just a thing we all have.
I love the pride, but there's something about you guys in teaching. There really is. And I think you need to take that positively, because for me, that means that there are several jailers, not just in Baltimore City, but also in Maryland, who, when they think I want to be a teacher and I want to train to be a teacher, one of my first choices, one of my first options is going to be Coppin State University. So I personally think knowing that identity is a good thing. You offer several other majors, Jayla, I know that, but I do hear something from those who pick teaching as, where else was I going to go? Of course I was going to go to Coppin. That's what I get from them. Could be wrong, but that's what I get from them.
Of course.
Jayla, now I'm going back to your unpopular opinion about HBCUs. Jayla, let's talk about it.
Okay.
Uh, she's like, okay. So you said a lot of things, and I want to start actually, and I'm not going to get this right, and that's fine. So we are recording this in early 25, by the way. So by the time everybody gets to hear this, if you want to, what's it called? Fact check me to, late 2024, early 2025, where Donald Trump, who will be president by the time everyone gets to hear this recording, um, and I actually watched him say it. I just can't quote him accurately, where he talked about being against institutions that are serving particular races. He didn't say HBCU. At least I did not hear him say that. Let me be very clear. But it's hard for you not to think he's talking about HBCUs in the way he said it. And he also talked about, looking at the funding and negatively, not positively, but looking at the funding. And he didn't say defunding, but he did say being a little bit more strict and stringent with institutions that serve particular races. So I bring that up because of your unpopular opinion that you shared about HBCUs. And you're not alone, for the record. You're not alone. There are a lot in the camp that you shared whereby they say, leave Black spaces for Black people. What advantages do you see
I feel
for
like in
HBCUs? There we go. Sorry, go ahead. What
I
advantages do you see for HBCUs to be more inclusive of more than just Black people? My apologies. Go ahead.
I feel like there's always an argument of saying black people aren't inclusive towards black people, so why should we be inclusive to others? I feel like we should lead by example no matter what is going on. I feel like in the political climate, as far as financially and the threat to take away funding from, they didn't say HBCUs, but we can allude to what was said. I think that having more diverse groups of people, other races come into HBCUs, we have more opportunity for funding. I feel like other people don't really see it like that. I see it. That's how I see it. I feel like we're more open to getting more funding if we have more students of different races other than just black people at our institution. I definitely think that we see other people come into HBCUs as they're invading our
Mm,
spaces. I see
mm.
it as more as we can teach them to appreciate and not override and overrule. I think a lot of people see it as, oh, they're going to start taking everything we do and steal it and take it for their own. I feel like in positive spaces like HBCU, we can teach people to appreciate what we have going on, appreciate our culture, appreciate customs and traditions that we have at our university, and not just so they learn where it comes from, teaching people to appreciate it and not steal it or do whatever they want, gentrify whatever.
You said a lot of really really important gems that I do hope and think think and hope think and hope that different HBCUs start to chew on. And one that you mentioned was the funding and the reality that more funding goes to non HBCUs than it does to HBCUs. These are facts, no matter how you look at it and whatever research you look into. HBCUs do not get equitable amounts of funding. And I'm as curious as you are. I don't think you're curious. I think you are actually sure. I'm curious, but I think you're absolutely sure that inviting other people, actively inviting them to be part of HBCUs is likely to bring more funding. I'm curious to see that be a reality, to be extremely honest with you. One of our biggest complaints at HBCUs is that we don't have enough money for
Mm-hmm.
ABC. And if bringing other people meant bringing more money, then are we really at a loss? But then you brought up the culture aspect of it. And I hear what you said. You said having non-black people at HBCUs gives them foundational experiences, if you will, as to why we are this way, and it should bring about the positive of who we are as black people. What's your comment or what's your response, Jayla, to those at HBCUs who say, this is our safe space? I know that when I go to an HBCU and I see all colors of the rainbow, I find my voice there. I am emboldened to be myself. I don't look behind my shoulder to see who might not necessarily like what I have to say, because we get each other seamlessly without there needing to be an explanation. What do you say to those who say that that's going to be either toned down or lost by having all these other people there almost looking at us in a fishbowl? What are your thoughts on that?
I feel like at my HBCU specifically, we're already inclusive. We do have students of other races coming to the university. We've never put out anything that bluntly said, "Oh, we don't take other people. We just take black people." No university has, as far as I've known and seen. I feel like it's not going to change how we feel at our university. I feel like it's not going to change how we create a safe space. I will always carry my university with me even when I'm gone. So I feel
Mm,
like people don't consider that carrying your university with you even when you leave. So why not invite people in or allow these people to come into our space, into our institutions, so that they can become better people. So like I said, they can learn our cultures or where we come from or why we do the things that we do at HBCUs and pass it on to other people, giving allowing people to break negative stereotypes and all types of narratives that they have about us, about our schools, and see we actually have fun here. We have fun with 3.0 GPAs. We have fun with Greek life. We have fun with sports. We have fun with everything. We have
Everything.
great homecomings amongst HBCUs. So having these people come here, I feel like it won't deteriorate our safe space. I feel like it won't take away from it. If anything, it's educating people and letting them see this is who we are. Not what you see in the media, not what you see on these negative news outlets. This is what we
Absolutely.
are, and we are a school. We are an institution that deserves funding. We deserve as much
Absolutely.
money as other schools, and it should not take away from it that we are historically black colleges and universities. That should not take away from the fact that we deserve just as much as other schools and universities.
So you're always saying a lot. And when I say you're saying a lot, I mean that positively. Like you're saying a lot of good stuff that I hope everybody is chewing on in the best of ways. Every time even you say historically, I hope it's a reminder to everyone. The word historically does not necessarily mean that we're still living in that
Mm-hmm.
historical time. And so it is perfectly okay for there to be an openness. I know, and I don't have my research to throw out at people right now, but I know when I was researching not too long ago, there are some current HBCUs, yes, HBCUs, who actually are not predominantly Black attending. Please do the research and you'll be like, oh, wow, she's right. And there's still HBCUs, and there's still a lot of history about that institution that is simply just Black that anybody walking in those doors actually has to contend with in both good and challenging ways. But while you were speaking, I said, oh my gosh, Tosin, you're going to ask her this, aren't you? Even though it might be slightly unfair. So, Jayla, I apologize ahead of time. I don't think it's unfair. I have to ask you this question. So, Coppin State University, one of the more controversial. You know where I'm going. She's like, I know. She's like, I know where you're going. One of the more controversial moments that you've had over the past few years has been the crowning of a non-black queen as Miss Coppin State University. And I'm curious about your take. And I know what the take of Coppin State University was. You guys embraced her like crazy, and your president came out embracing her like crazy. So I'm not asking about what your take was with regards to her as your queen, but you just said a whole lot with regards to there being inclusivity, and clearly Coppin State University has been that inclusive. But there was a lot of hate directed at her from other HBCUs. And I'm curious about two things. First thing, what are your thoughts on the amount of negativity? Like she got death threats, the amount of negativity that this young lady received during that time, again, from mostly outside or maybe all outside of Coppin. That's my first thought. And then, or rather, my first query of you. My second query of you, there's some people who probably agree with you that there should be diverse populations at HBCUs, but they would say, but we don't want them in our leadership positions. What are your take on those two things? I know I throw a lot at you, so if I have to repeat it, I will. But what's your take on those two things?
So Kayleen Perez, I love her. That was our 91st Miss Coppin State University. I was on court at the time as Miss Sophomore, so it was definitely a lot of negativity going around. So we definitely had to surround her with a lot of love and positivity during that time. I definitely think our entire university was behind her. She did run unopposed, but we were still 110% behind her. I feel like our argument with other schools and us talking to other schools, if other people wanted to do it, they would have done it. But she was best qualified for the job, whether she ran against somebody or not. She had previously been on court before, so she had already been on court. She already had experience. But then she became Miss, and for the outside where it became a problem, that was normal for Coppin. Like I said, Coppin is already very inclusive. We already accept people for who they are, no matter what position they run for. Our current SGA president is actually Hispanic, so definitely we're very inclusive. We aren't oh, they can't run for this, they can't be in our space. So I think for outside people saying, okay, we accept non-black people into our HBCUs, but we don't want them in our leadership. I can understand why that is a narrative because people see it as a territorial thing. People are taking over. Oh, they don't respect it. But Kayleen ran the position with poise, with grace. She didn't do anything that I feel like a miss should have never done. I think people read more into color than character, and I feel like that's a big
Mm.
issue. I think people did not know her, so people, of course, judging. I think people judge as if we had a problem, but really it was just the outside world. We didn't have any issue with it. We love her. We still love her. She was a great miss. She did a lot of things as miss for our university. She talked to a lot of people, even amidst all of the hate that she was getting. She still served with love and grace. So I love her. I see nothing wrong with it, and I feel like people who do see something wrong with it really need to reflect on why they feel like people are taking over, or why they have these feelings of feeling like things are, oh, they're taking our spaces, there's nothing left for other people. There's so much left for other people. It's HBCU.
Mm.
There's so much left for us. I don't feel like anything is taken away from that. Since having Kayleen, we still had two black misses. Our last miss, Kayla Griffin Randolph, and then myself. So it's nothing's being taken away. Nobody is stealing anything, and it's perfectly fine. It's okay.
Quote Jayla M. McCullough. I've written this down and I'm giving you credit. People read more into color than character. That's a word. That is a word. And the reason why that's a word or a few words that resonate with me is because that could be true for so many different spaces and not just HBCUs. And it could also be true regardless of what color that we're speaking of. So, girl, put that on a t shirt. I'm so serious. Put that on a t-shirt, sell it, do something. But that's a word. People read more into color than character. You addressed, I think you addressed splendidly your viewpoint on both things that I threw at you by even mentioning that currently the president of SGA at Coppin State University is non-black. He is Hispanic. And the fact that if you wanted to run. If you want to be in those leadership spaces, go after those positions as well and do all the necessary things to get you in those spaces. So, listen, I love that. Listen, anyone listening to this is going to be like, Coppin does no wrong, do they? Like, Coppin is like the best place. So, because of that, Jayla, I must ask you, is there anything about Coppin State University? Because, listen, our job, I think, as stewards of HBCUs, that is, students who go there, alum who graduated from there, someone like me who works at an HBCU by choice and gladly, part of our job is to make sure things, to the best of our ability, get better. So if there's one thing, if you talk to President Jenkins all the time, if you feel like sharing with us, is there anything that you have shared with the president that you're like, I wish we did X better? Or can we consider Y? What would that be for Coppin? Coppin is amazing. I get it. But is there anything that you wish you or the university could do or implement that would make the experience even better for Coppin students?
So Coppin has a lot of first generation students. So this is a part of my campaign when I actually ran for Miss Junior. I want to start a program before I leave, even if it cannot happen right now. Before I leave this campus, I want to start a program for first generation students. A big problem amongst HBCUs when I've looked at data and statistics is retention. We can get the students, but can we keep them?
Mm,
So definitely having
mm.
a program, and I've noticed that a lot of students who leave and do not finish school are first generation students because they do not have anybody that they can depend on. It's easy to tell students, hey, talk to a teacher, talk to a professor, talk to a faculty, but it's not the same. Everybody did not come from that same. I was a first generation student. My parents did not go to college. My parents, my
Yeah.
guardian, whoever did not go to school. So I don't have anybody to really depend on. And people who did have, whose family do have educational backgrounds, they don't get it. They don't understand how lonely that feels. So definitely starting a program. I've definitely talked to people on campus, starting a program with alum who were first generation students to
Mm.
come back and mentor those who are first generation students, even if it's something as simple as calling them once a month or every other week, just checking in, seeing how they're doing, how can they help them, parent students up who are first generation students with graduates, so alumni who are within their same major, so that might help a little more, give some connections as far as seeking work once they graduate. But that's one thing. I don't really see too much bad about my university, so that's one thing that I feel like we could do amongst all HBCUs, not just my own, to make sure that we are retaining students and that our rate that we're still growing, becoming a lot more mainstream, because it's easy to get the students, but it's very hard to keep them.
For the record, Jayla, I never, ever, ever said, tell me something bad about Coppin. I just said, give me something that you think students would appreciate even more. And you gave me one, and I really appreciate that. I really love your suggestion of the program where it's first generation to first generation mentoring. I'm guilty of being one of those people that is not always as sensitive and doesn't always know the challenges that a first generation college student went through. And I simply just expect them to know. So you gave a perfect example. I'll literally say, well, why didn't you go and talk to this person? Because I'm assuming you would know to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I love being checked by students like you. No, I do, with a reminder that I don't think I should do that, because that's not the first thought I would have, because I don't have an experience, a foundation, an advisory board, if you will, that has poured that into me to know that that's what you do in college. And we don't think about that. Those of us who you either had an auntie who went to college that you can easily call, and it's not even that you're calling them for an issue, it's just in conversation it comes up. They don't have that. So I really, really love that mentoring program that you mentioned, and I really, really hope that you're able to put that into practice
Thank
before
you.
you leave Coppin. Jayla, I could talk to you forever. I literally could. I love, love, love your energy. And I love the impactful commentary that
Thank
you've shared
you.
this entire episode. So, is there something that I might have failed to ask you that didn't allow you to share something that when you knew you were going to be on this podcast, you're like, oh my gosh, yes, I'm going to talk about this? What would that be?
I don't think we really missed anything. I just advocate for everybody to go to HBCUs, no matter who you are. It's been one of the best experiences, and as somebody who during COVID, I was really fighting to find my passion and will to even want to go to school anymore, because COVID
Wow.
hit, and I'm just like, I'm over it. I'm over so much is happening in the world. I'm done. I'll go to work. And definitely, it was really hard finding my passion, finding my drive to go back to school. I always knew I wanted to be a teacher. I had my guidance counselor from high school, and she was like, "You'd be a great teacher." I'm like, "Girl, absolutely not." And then she kind of pushed me more into it, started having me meet people, introduced to people. So definitely that kind of filled that lighted the fire in me to, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go to school. And me choosing the HBCU was probably one of the best decisions. I had PWIs, I had other institutions on my list, but Coppin felt like home. I feel like they did not feel like home because it was Coppin. They felt like home because I was surrounded by people who looked like me. Even those who
Hmm.
weren't, I was surrounded by people who wanted to support me, wanted to see me succeed. So definitely, I recommend everybody to go to a HBCU. Every school has its flaws, but I definitely feel like you will not find a school that will leave you feeling as fulfilled, like you earned your degree. It just wasn't handed to you. You earned it, and you had fun while doing it.
I'm smiling. My heart is smiling at every single thing you just said. Jayla, help me end this episode by sharing one word or phrase on why you love HBCUs.
I love HBCUs because it's the only place where I feel like you can be you.
I'm not going to add a single thing to that. To everybody watching and listening, thank you for paying attention to Jayla more so than me, I hope. It is impossible for you not to go ahead and subscribe or like, and not or, and like this episode because of Jayla M. McCullough. You are going to be an amazing teacher. You're going to be amazing at whatever you do. But Lord have mercy, if I had a child, I want my child to be in your classroom. That's the honest to God
Thank
truth.
you.
So, to those listening, look up Jayla McCullough wherever you are. It is impossible for you not to like and subscribe to this episode, thanks to her. Yours in HBCU love. See you next episode. You've been listening to I Love My HBCU ? Let's keep the conversation going as we share our stories and encourage more practical support of HBCUs, whilst, of course, holding each other accountable. Don't forget to follow and subscribe for the latest episodes. Until next time, love and lift your HBCU.